What is up, my Squirtleites? It is I, your king, and welcome to the 2024 New Year edition of Let's Talk. At the start of every year, from here on out, I want to use this first update of the year opportunity to go over a few things that I've discussed on this channel many times in the past, but having a yearly refresher on these sorts of things should save me from having to do so ever again. I want to go over what this channel is, its mission statement, why I make the content that I do, and also go over what I use to make the content that I do, both from a hardware and a software standpoint. After that, we'll discuss the coming year, go into more detail, and expound further upon everything that was in the preview video that I put out a few days ago, and just sort of lay out the future in a way I hopefully shouldn't have to again until next year. As always, I have time codes in the description. You can just skip around to whatever part of the video you so desire. I'm sure a lot of you are really only interested in the back half of this, but let's start with what I honestly should have led the entire video with, and that is, of course, Happy New Year. I know I'm a week late to that, but Happy New Year regardless. You made it! You're here. There's no guarantee that this year is going to be necessarily better or worse than 2023 was, so all you can do at this point is just take it one day at a time. Do the best that you can for yourself, make sure that your happiness is a priority, and so that is the happiness of those that you care most about. I was never really a big fan of the whole new year, new me mentality. This year's going to totally be different and yada yada yada. It's just a new number on the calendar. When it hits, I think more than anything, the new year should be used to sort of take stock, reflect, and make plans for the future. But let's not trick ourselves into delusions so great that we're only setting ourselves up for failure. Just stop, take this opportunity to reset a little bit, and then you can decide where you're going to go next. Life is short, but it is also full of opportunities, okay? Okay. For those who do not know the history of this channel, April 26th, 2011 was the day that it all began, with a very singular goal in mind. Back in those days, the term Let's Play was just starting to shake its heavily restrictive terminology and find a place in the entertainment sphere online. Not 5 years before that, Let's Plays weren't even a thing outside of the Something Awful forums. When I started on YouTube, by that point, there was actually a good handful of Let's Players emerging who had started taking these commentary-based walkthroughs in a different direction. Let's Plays no longer had to just be informative, almost formal affairs any longer. They could be fun and casual, and eventually, Let's Play would be used as a term to describe almost any video where somebody or even a group of somebodies talk while playing video games. I started right as that whole idea was gradually gaining popularity. I've never been shy about my inspirations. Chuck Conroy, Proton John, Lucagen, Nintendo Capri Sun, the Retsupre guys, names that were very well known back in 2010 and 2011, and some still even now, but considered a bit more niche after the algorithm boom of 2012 and 2013 that saw channels like Markiplier, PewDiePie, Jacksepticeye, Game Grumps, and all those sorts of channels really take the concept of Let's Play in a much more mainstream and popular direction. So, with that little history lesson in mind, I make Let's Plays that are more based off of that earlier style, to a degree. I make videos with the explicit purpose of showing off, displaying the merits of, and simply enjoying a medium and an art form that I love, and that is video games. This entire channel is a passion project, a hobby. It's never been something I've wanted to try and make a career out of or turn into some big enterprise. It's just me, in my room, getting home after a long day at work on days where I have no other obligations nor appointments, and I just flip on the capture card and microphone and play video games and get real excited about them. Or complain, or gush, or get frustrated, or whatever the emotion of the moment is. These are largely raw, unfiltered videos, edited certainly, but I try not to shy away from who I am as a person, nor my opinions on the games that I'm playing too much. I do not stick to any one type of game. I am a lover of all sorts and genres, but I will say that horror games and JRPGs aren't the most common around here. I like having variety on the channel because I like playing a variety of video games, as simple as that, and as any gaming-centric YouTuber will tell you, that is a death sentence as far as the algorithm is concerned. Variety doesn't do numbers because generally people who watch gaming videos like to have their niches. They go to one YouTuber for info on one game and then a different YouTuber for other stuff, and when one YouTuber kind of becomes known as the insert game title here guy, they have a very hard time branching out because that is their niche. I have no niche, but even I'm not immune to satisfying the algorithm at least a little bit, which is why I try to keep something Pokemon related going on the channel at all times, even though this is by no means a Pokemon-centric channel. Which brings us to the channel's name. Firstly, I was 19 when I started this YouTube channel. I was only a few years removed from my uppercase X, lowercase x underscore phase of edgy and cool usernames that I'd give my email address and Xbox Live account. So there wasn't a whole lot of creativity there. And in 2011, it seemed like a pretty popular trend to just build your Let's Play username around your favorite Pokemon, which at the time was in fact Squirtle. The rest was just me throwing darts at a board and hoping it sounded good, and I've made the most of it, I think. Back then, it was LP Squirtle King, which I've since dropped the LP part as of like 2015, but even still, it's something I just kind of embrace now. It's a bit hard to change something so ubiquitous and something that's been a part of my video intros for almost 13 years. Welcome to the Squirtle Kingdom. Hi, I'm the guy who's known more for his PS2 Let's Plays than I am for Pokemon stuff, and isn't that just hilarious? Anyway, to make these videos, I've upgraded my equipment many times over the years. 5 different capture cards, probably a dozen different mics, 3 PCs, multiple different editing programs, and several lessons learned along the way. I started at the very beginning with $60 that I scraped together and used that to get a Dazzle DVD capture card, which was this white teardrop-shaped looking thing with the USB cord coming out of its ass end. And then I had like a bargain bin generic Logitech headset back when they offered those super cheap $10 options. You know, the kind you go grab at Best Buy in an emergency when you have a work meeting in 30 minutes and you can't get your usual headset to function. Yeah. That's what I was using. Nowadays, I use an Elgato HD60S Plus external capture card with the recommended 4K capture utility software. I record my voice on a Shure MV7 microphone, though I do not use the included Shure Motive software, as I find it to be a hassle to use and unnecessary. I don't make the most out of this microphone just yet because I'm currently using its USB-based functionality, which isn't ideal. I'm hoping to have a good amp here in the next few months to hopefully boost its quality even more here soon. All of my audio capture is done through the free program Audacity. My video editing software is Vegas Pro 19. Not quite Adobe Premiere Pro levels of quality, but I try not to use Adobe products if I can help it. As essential as Premiere Pro and After Effects are, their benefits just don't outweigh the hassle of being Adobe products, so I just stick to Vegas, which I've been using at least some version of since 2013. My editing PC specs are as follows: an i7 12700KF 12-core CPU, 64 gigs of DDR4 RAM at 3600 MHz, and an RTX 3080 Ti GPU with 12 gigabytes of VRAM. The whole PC is built on the bones of an iBuyPower Slate Hako model PC. iBuyPower themselves is one of the best pre-built brands around who doesn't generally put garbage parts into their PCs, and I got some good deals on certain components, so while the case, CPU, fans, and PSU are all stock, everything else has been converted or upgraded. And I think that covers everything, actually. If you made it this far or just skipped to this point in the video because you've already heard all of that information before, hello. I'm going to start talking about the channel stuff in the year ahead now. Thank you for bearing with me. So, it's been 2 years now of committing to multiple concurrent series and daily uploads, and last year was the year where I kinda got a bucket of ice-cold water to the face, had the longtime PC die on me, and I sorta had to take a step back and tone down the expectations that I'd been setting and be a bit more realistic. I overestimated what I was going to get done last year by quite a bit, and even without the 3-month unintentional break in the middle, I still wouldn't have met those goals. So here's how this works. When I start a Let's Play, I have absolutely no idea how long it's going to take to finish. I could probably wager a guess within 10 to 20 episodes of the final result, but that's a window of anywhere from 1 to 5 months. So it's really not all that precise. I've always stuck to a very rigid format behind the scenes, even if it doesn't come across that way in the final upload schedule. To reiterate and preface the following look ahead at the schedule, here's how a given week goes. The main Let's Play, which is currently Destiny, goes up on Sundays and Wednesdays. Pokemon, whatever game it may be, and currently Pokepark 2, goes up on Mondays and Thursdays. The secondary Let's Play, currently Shadow of the Tomb Raider, is reserved for Tuesdays only. And the tertiary Let's Play, which was Pikmin up until yesterday, goes up every Saturday. Fridays are for variety content. All of these videos are consistently scheduled for 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Any extra stuff like Let's Talks and reviews do not have any set dates assigned, and I usually schedule those a few hours earlier so as not to directly conflict with whatever else is meant to go up that day. With all that out of the way, let's talk about the future. Firstly, Sundays and Wednesdays. Destiny is going to be a very long Let's Play. I feel as though I've sufficiently established that by this point, but if I haven't, let me say this one more time. Destiny is going to be extremely long. I'm talking years long, longer than any Let's Play I've ever done on this channel, and it won't be particularly close by the end. I know that when a series gets that long, it can be pretty exhausting for even the most invested viewers, and even for myself. To break up the monotony a little bit, I'm going to be coming and going from this series every so often, rather than just marathoning it from start to finish, given that Destiny is a game still in progress, and just blitzing through 6 entire expansions plus additional content would be downright stupid. Here is my order of operations for uploading on Sundays and Wednesdays. First, nothing but Destiny until we reach the end of the Beyond Light expansion. We are currently in the thick of the Forsaken expansion, and will be through the end of this month. Then comes the Shadowkeep expansion, and then comes Beyond Light. After that, there will be a break from Destiny to go and play a game that I've been neglecting for a very long time on this channel, and that is Eco. After that, we will return to Destiny to see through the entire Witch Queen expansion and its following seasons, as well as Lightfall and its seasons. After that will be another break to then do a small Let's Play of one of my childhood favorites, and that is Kirby Air Ride for the Nintendo GameCube. After that, we will then return to Destiny again, and given that I have absolutely no idea how far out this will be, I'm not even going to attempt to assume how much of the game I will have left to cover at that point. I just know it will at the very least involve the Final Shape expansion, which comes out in July of this year. There you go. I just gave you like a 2 to 3 year preview for the main Let's Plays on the channel. You're welcome. Mondays and Thursdays, the Pokemon days. Right now we are going through Pokepark 2, and I will be playing through the post-game with this one, which is something I didn't do with the first Pokepark. After Pokepark 2 is done, we're going to be heading back to Pokemon White to finish out that post-game as well. Then comes Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX, the main Pokemon game event of the year, as I'm going to be taking a little bit of a break from the main series, at least until 2025. But if Mystery Dungeon ends before the year's out, next up on the list is Pokemon Coliseum, which I gotta say, not looking too forward to that one too much, but I want to get through both of the GameCube games at some point, and I need to give Pokemon White 2 a bit more time to simmer before we jump into that sequel. Tuesdays. Let me start by saying that the main difference between Tuesdays and Saturdays is supposed to be the size and scope of the game. Big, blockbuster AAA features or top-of-the-line, high-quality, and long games are meant for Tuesdays. Saturday Let's Plays are meant to be quicker, more concise, and more casual, so the turnover between games is more constant. That's the idea anyway. The rule isn't always exact because, for instance, in January we have both Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and Mario Party 2 starting, and I kind of just had to choose which game went where. I do what I think is fairly consider Mario Kart 8 Deluxe to be a bit more robust and content-rich than Mario Party 2, so it just made more sense to put it on Tuesdays. I think that tracks. I feel like it does. Anyways, Shadow of the Tomb Raider ends here in a couple of days, then we have Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. After that is the third and final premier Let's Play of the year, and that is Animal Crossing New Horizons. I have no idea how long this series is going to last, but if it somehow ends before 2025, the next 2 games on the list are Mario Kart 64 and Super Mario Galaxy. Saturdays. Like I said, these Let's Plays are usually shorter, less than 20 episodes per if I can help it. Pikmin ended yesterday, so next week is the start of Mario Party 2. The next 5 games slated for Saturdays are as follows: The Messenger, Firewatch, Mario Party 3, another alternate Fallout 4 playthrough, and Banjo-Kazooie. Friday content is always going to be a mystery month over month, so there's no way I could possibly lay those out for the entire year right here, right now. I'm trying to keep Collector's Corner videos to about once or twice a month tops, just to keep things interesting. Just keep an eye on those monthly schedules I put out on the 30th or 31st of every month, barring February, if you're curious about variety stuff. My goal for this year is to have absolutely everything for 2024 done, recorded, edited, and scheduled by the end of June, so I'm getting way ahead of all this. I want a real good, efficient system going by the end of the year with a lot of goals accomplished. It'll hopefully be a very chill 2024 on the viewing end, and as long as everything holds together, it should stay that way for a long time. Apologies if you found this Let's Talk a bit less casual than you're used to. This is how probably every single Let's Talk that I do at the beginning of a given year is going to go. I don't ever script these things, but this time I kind of had to, just to kind of leave myself along, and also to make sure that this video didn't end up going 20, 30, 40 minutes overtime as I rambled constantly about these topics that were honestly very easy to condense within a 20-minute video. But this last bit is unscripted. This is just me saying thank you guys, as always, for watching. I genuinely appreciate it. Every single view matters to me. I don't really care for how long you watch. I just care that you're here and you're enjoying things. That fact and that alone is really the only reason that I make YouTube videos, is that someone out there is watching. I know a lot of people generally look for immediate engagement and, you know, a wider reach for their audience, and they want to meet the YouTube algorithm at all times, but I'm kind of okay with the fact that I've often just sort of stumbled into algorithmic luck. Almost every single one of my most viewed Let's Plays didn't really get a whole lot of views until over a year after the fact, and that was just because the search algorithm kind of helped me out. I've never really found my place on like a homepage, for instance, or in suggested videos or any of those sorts of things. It's just the search bar that's kind of given me some lucks and some success here and there, and I'm okay with that. If people happen across my videos, just stumble upon them and have a good time watching that stuff, then that more than makes all of this worth it. And that's really the only end goal that I'm trying to chase here, is that there's just people having a good time here. That's all I've ever wanted to do. I am not one of those people out there trying to make a YouTube channel as a hustle opportunity that would just suck all of the fun out of the entire experience for me. This is just my way of, I suppose, reaching out to a bunch of random people that I'll probably never meet in my life and just sharing with them these things that I care deeply about. And that's all I ever want this to be. So again, thank you so very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video very, very much, and I will see you all in the next one.